Hi, hello. Lately, I've been wondering, when is it peace and when is it depriving yourself? For the longest time, in my case, I was yearning for a place that would feel safe. Not a location, not necessarily a physical space, but like a mental space that I could call my sanctuary, where things were rather predictable or where I could, figure out the logistics of things. I could figure out how to go about things. I would have enough space to figure things out, and things were just calm and more in my control. And especially when you grow up in circumstances where home was not a given, like a sanctuary was not just like given to you. You had to fight for any sense of peace. I think once you find that and once you fought for it, it can be very hard to let go of. Recently, I encountered a few situations that have really made me think about how often we might deprive ourselves in the name of protecting ourselves, in the name of protecting our peace. And peace can mean different things for different people. But I do feel like there's a certain common ground that we can all probably agree on what peace is. To name a few, what it meant on my end was to not be at the mercy of someone else's moods, to be able to decide the course of action for myself, the option to just create the life that I want, to actively be the creator of my life and not always like micromanage others or like tiptoe around others, or simply not having to share a space with people that were not able to, or that you were not able to have a sense of peace around. And I learned for myself that predictability is really the key word here. If you grew up around a lot of chaos, you crave for things to be predictable. Like you want to have more control of your surroundings. But then life itself is just not predictable, especially when it comes to meeting new people or all of a sudden having an interest in just doing something that is very outside of your comfort zone and where you can't always like perfectly figure out the logistics. There will always be elements of I might not be able to figure this out perfectly, and it might introduce variables or a certain level of chaos that I can't prepare for and that I can't solve. And what that meant for me then, when I was thinking about these things that I wanted to do or like these people that I would meet, like it would feel like, okay, this is unpredictable. This is introducing too many things that I feel like I can't really grasp. So I'm gonna retract back to where I am. Because this is peaceful. Like I'm so comfortable where I am, and here is where I can control things. I don't really want to be in that place again where things are unpredictable. But that didn't feel right either. Like when I was kind of going back and forth with myself on that, it's very clear, and it's probably clear to you as well when you're listening to this. Predictability cannot be synonymous with peace. That can't be it. Like a mental safe space cannot be based on you being fully in control of everything that's happening with you and around you. But that made me uneasy because not only now am I confronted with having to leave that peaceful sanctuary and like my comfort zone, but also I'm gonna now have to redefine what peace even is. Like, what am I really doing right now? What would I be doing if I actually stayed right here and not go out there? Like, what would that actually mean for my life? So it was very clear to me very quickly that if I wanted to give myself a chance to live a full life, I cannot just stay in this circumstantial peace, as I would now call it, because if it's truly just based on predictability, it's reliant on the circumstance that you can control. And circumstantial peace does not really sound whole. It sounds very conditional. Even though we might all have different ideas of what peace is, I do feel like a common understanding would be that peace is a very grounding, holistic experience. It's not just if I do X, Y, and Z, that's the only way I will have peace. If peace becomes something so fragile, something that you constantly have to guard and protect from like outside influences, is that really still peace? Is that what we should call it? At what point does it become anxiety? At what point does it become lack of flexibility? At what point does it become shrinkage? Like it just becomes shrinking your life to a small bubble where you're the master. And it can be very destabilizing and scary to kind of your whole life build this sanctuary of yours, and then all of a sudden you're in this like predicament, you're in this situation now where this very sanctuary that you built feels like it might shrink you down because of how you define it now. It used to be your escape. Like it did its job in like getting you safe and getting you to a place where you could control your life, and that was important. That was so important. It was so important for you to get rid of all these circumstances beforehand that would keep you also very small, so you had to remove yourself from it and take control of what you could take control of. But now that you have that, what are you going to do with that control that you have? Peace should enable you to move through life more freely, not more anxiously. I had to kind of broaden my idea of what it means to have peace. Peace is not circumstantial. Peace is a state of being. Peace is still a level of kind of control, but it's the control that you have within you. How much do you give in to your fear? Like, how much do you give in to uncertainty? How much are you in tune with yourself so that, like, no matter what happens to you outside of you, you can still have this space that you can come back to that is within you no matter what happens to you? And I really, really felt still destabilized by it because it's just so much easier to hold on to circumstances that feel easy and comfortable. It's just predictable. It's safer. But I don't want to exchange freedom for circumstantial safety. That feels small for me, and I want to be able to live life to the fullest, right? I don't think it means you have to take every risk that comes your way. Like, use your discernment, but if there are things that call you and that pull you outside of your comfort zone, really think to yourself, if you're gonna say no to this, are you saying no because you're in tune with your actual needs and that's just not matching what you want and what you need right now? Or are you saying no because it's introducing things into your life that you can't perfectly predict, and the anxiety that arises from that is just too big to overcome? It's just too big to look past and still go for that. There can also be that sense, and again, I'm saying this especially to the people that had maybe a difficult upbringing, there can also be a sense of like, I'm just too tired. Like, I'm just too tired. Like, sure, that sounds nice, the idea of like broadening my horizon and like doing things that are outside of my comfort zone, but I'm just tired. I'm happy to be here. I'm genuinely happy to be here. Like, a comfort zone is not just shrinkage, like I said. It is genuinely like calming. It's grounding, right? And I think that's totally understandable. I think it's so understandable to be in that space and genuinely feel like, I'm too tired. I know there's more life out there, but I'm too tired. I think it's fine to honor that. And I think like life is not also about just rushing and like rushing certain maybe healing processes, like rushing, like maybe you need to settle into that comfort for a second. Like maybe your nervous system just is still finding that new baseline. If you genuinely feel tired, obviously don't push yourself to do something that you're just not comfortable with. But this is a call to everyone that has fought very hard to have a sense of peace. That peace is supposed to liberate you. That's what I believe. That's what I think. This is a very open discussion, so like please let me know in the comments what you think of this. But I really do feel like if peace can mean different things at different stages in your life. And as I said, I think if you're coming from difficult circumstances, it is so wise to want to have a space where things are predictable. But then Is more life calling you? Is life calling you outside of that predictability? And if you don't answer that call just for the sake of predictability, would you still call that peace? Because peace now, after you find that comfort, after you find that sanctuary, peace might mean expansion. Peace might mean internalizing that peace within you so that your circumstances are not that important anymore. It actually means that you can move more freely through the world because you are not bound to predictability. I said predictability a million times in this video, but it's just a good word to use. So this is something that I'm myself learning, and this is like a very fresh thought for me, and it's something I'm genuinely grappling with. And it's okay to be afraid. It's totally okay to be afraid, but I don't think we have to always give in to that fear. We can honor it. We can acknowledge that it means that it's different from what we're used to, but it's so much more important, in my opinion, to honor your drive to take that peace in your pocket and move through it through the world and truly move with openness, no matter if that's a new place, if that's new friendships, dating, like whatever it is. I think it is so gratifying to be able to allow yourself to live fully and not deprive yourself in the name of protecting your peace. So that's just food for thought. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And thank you for reaching 400 subscribers. I'm so happy that we're growing over here. Take very, very good care of yourself, and I'll see you very, very soon. Bye!